Origin Jets Home Studio X, and this is top 7 fighter jets of the US military by the channel US Military News. Yes, and the US Military News video is about top 7. Okay, I saw the top 7 planes, which wasn't just restricted to fighter jets, it was like all type of planes from US military. This is just fighter jets. First of all, US having top 7 one type of plane is insane in itself, right? Fighter jets. Okay, obviously it's gonna be like F-22 here, right? F-15, F-16, F-18. Yeah, there's like a lot of it. So I don't know which is gonna be ranked at what, based on what criteria. Is it the pound for pound best one we have right now, or is it like what was the most effective? Because if it's based on effectiveness, I guess F-18 and F-16 would be higher. If it's just like point blank better, I don't know, F-22 would be higher, who knows, but it's gonna be interesting. Remember, reflect my reaction, don't forget to subscribe, so that way I know which type of videos to react tomorrow. I've been watching these military style videos a lot recently, so if you haven't seen other reactions like this, check out the link in the description or in the end of the video end card. And yeah, let's watch it.
With contractors like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Northrop Grumman right here in our own backyard, newer versions of these craft are easier to come by. There's also the fact that there are significant financial incentives for some in private industry and political office and government to grow military spending. Whatever the reason, there's no denying that America replaces its fighter jets faster and with more regularity than most nations. Another thing demonstrating that discrepancy is the size of the U.S. Air Force and Navy's aircraft roster. How many fighter jets does the U.S. have? Exact figures of fighters themselves are hard to come by, but the American military has 13,264 total aircraft. No other military has more than 5,000. This list is in chronological order, with the year of the first flight being taken as a reference date. With that in mind, let's take a look at the aircraft which make the cut.
Yeah, there's like every time I listen to this stats, first of all, before when I was listening to the stats, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's insane, this and that, and I never understood why. Obviously, US being American country, North American country, with bordering only Canada and Mexico, Canada being ally, Mexico is also, there is no threat to them on land, right? So whatever threat is going to be is like overseas, so you're going to need aircraft carriers, which there are a lot of them. You're going to need planes on that aircraft carriers, which is like 13,000, so a lot of them are also like that, F-18 and things like that, right? And I always saw the stats of, oh, Russia has like a lot of, like, way too many tanks. Why doesn't US have it? Because Russia basically has countries that it would basically have to attack or be threatened by defensively, offensively, whatever, on land rather than on sea, right? So them having tank makes sense. So I never understood these stats until like when I start to watch all these like geopolitics and military videos like this.
To be the best current United States fighter jets. McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle, 1972. The F-15 Eagle boasts an undefeated record in air-to-air combat, with models still in use today, despite the design being from the 1970s. Its longevity can be attributed to its unprecedented acceleration, groundbreaking maneuverability, and impressive weapons capabilities.
Okay, I still don't understand why he starts with 1. He says top 7, not among the 7 or something. I don't know. It could be like this is top 7, like which is the number 1, don't ask me. It's like the top 7, you decide type of it. That's why it starts at wonder. It's not, otherwise it would be like 7, 6, 5 descending order, wouldn't it? I don't know. So not necessarily F-15 is the best one, but it's like among the 7.
Its high thrust-to-weight ratio and low wing loading allow the Eagle to turn tightly without losing airspeed, while its top speed above Mach 2.5 made it the first U.S. fighter capable of vertical acceleration. F-15 Eagles can be configured with air-to-air weaponry such as the AIM-120 AMRAAM missile on its lower fuselage corners and the AIM-9X Sidewinder or AIM-120 missiles on 2 pylons under the wings, along with an internal-mounted M61A1 Vulcan 20mm 6-barrel cannon with 940 rounds of ammunition in the right wing root, allowing it to provide all-weather, day or night air superiority. The F-15 Eagle is still in service with the U.S. Air Force and is expected to remain operational at least until 2025. The aircraft's been exported to Israel, Japan, and Saudi Arabia.
Okay, basically, one thing I can say about F-15 is that, like, look, allied countries are not getting the best plane like F-22 and things, right? But they are getting F-15. And you can say a lot of things about, like, oh, F-15 outdated, there are new version of it, there are better planes, this and that. Opposing countries like China or Russia has even better planes, this and that. F-15 is undefeated. So anybody having F-15 can literally flex like, I have something that is untouchable, because they are kind of true. They're statistically true. Because no F-15 was ever shot down, right? That's how insane F-15s are. Whenever they're used, even by the allied countries, you think like, okay, this is made by US, so US know how to use them best. What if allies don't know how to use it best? Doesn't matter. They're still not being shot down. That's how insane they are.
General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon, 1974. This is another fighter jet that has a long service history, first entering service in 1979. In that time, it's come to be another staple of the American Air Force and Navy, with more than 1,000 still in service today. This is another versatile aircraft which is able to take on a wide variety of missions. Like the F-15 and its Strike Eagle upgrade, it's been frequently used for air-to-air and air-to-ground missions. What helps distinguish the F-16 Fighting Falcon is the fact that it's also adept at carrying out electronic attacks, an ability which is ever more valuable in our ever-changing electricity-dependent landscape. McDonnell Douglas FA-18 Hornet, 1978.
Okay, seriously, I'm not gonna lie, this FA-18 is the most, let's just say, underappreciated underdog planes of them all. Because one thing I realized that, like, any fight that has happened like past multiple decades, only main heavyweight plane that ever been used is F-18, especially from US side. They are all carrier, basically is F-18s, right? Anything launched from carrier and things like that. F-18 is always being used, and they never get the love. It's like always either F-15, F-22. Nobody talks of F-18s.
The FA-18 Hornet was the first tactical aircraft designed to carry out both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions. The Hornet could switch roles easily, a feat it performed successfully during the Persian Gulf War when it shot down 2 Iraqi MiG-21s in fighter mode, then took out a ground target in attack mode during a mission. The Hornet's not only the nation's first official strike fighter, it's proven to be one of the most reliable as well, operating as a fighter escort, fleet air defense, and providing both close and deep air support. The FA-18 Hornet was developed in the late 1970s as the YF-17 Cobra, a competitor for the U.S. Air Force's lightweight fighter program. Aerospace giants Northrop and McDonnell Douglas teamed up to create a carrier-based version. The result was the FA-18 Hornet. McDonnell Douglas F-15E Strike Eagle, 1986. The F-15 Strike Eagle is a superior next-generation multi-role strike fighter. The F-15E can carry up to 23,000 pounds of payload, including the Joint Direct Attack Munition, the AIM-120 Advanced Medium-Range Air-to-Air Missile.
Hold up, I thought F-15 was made by Lockheed, right? Yeah, Lockheed. So how are other people are making? I get it's like different version of it, but still, like, original F-15 was made by Lockheed, wasn't it? So how are other companies are making it? How is it McDonnell Douglas F-15 now?
Missile, AIM-9X Sidewinder, and a variety of bombs. The state-of-the-art avionics systems provide the Strike Eagle with the ability to conduct air-to-air and air-to-surface missions in all weather conditions during day or night. The Strike Eagle was extensively deployed by the United States Air Force in Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm, as well as Operations Southern Watch and Northern Watch. Other notable combat deployments include Operation Deny Flight, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Operation Odyssey Dawn. Boeing FA-18EF Super Hornet, 1995. The FA-18EF Super Hornet is a combat-proven strike fighter offering...
Okay, see what the... So McDonnell Douglas made FA-18. Now, the Boeing made FA-18 Super Hornet. Are they the same plane with some upgrades? If that's the case, how is different company making them? And okay, maybe there's some kind of a bill or something passed, like okay, different companies can make a newer version of it. But isn't that kind of like fucked up? Like let's just say McDonnell Douglas put all that effort into making the whole plane of F-18, and Boeing just like does some kind of upgrade. Oh, now it's Boeing Super Hornet.
Next generation multi-role strike fighter capabilities. It's a larger and improved redesign of the FA-18CD Hornet. The U.S. Navy inducted the aircraft into service in 1999 for replacing its Grumman F-14 Tomcat. The Super Hornet's suite of integrated and networked systems provides enhanced interoperability and total force support for the combatant commander and for troops on the ground. The 11 weapon stations on the aircraft can hold a mix of air-to-air and air-to-ground ordnance, as well as a variety of smart weapons, including laser-guided bombs. Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. The F-22 Raptor is the most powerful air dominance fighter in the world. No, in the universe. Considered the first fifth-generation fighter in the U.S. infantry.
I'm pretty sure world is bigger than the universe, isn't it? Like, what is the definition of world? People use world loosely, but world implies everything, isn't it? So if there is a multiverse will be part of the world. I don't know. Okay, semantics again. But yeah, F-22 is like insane, right? Obviously, it's not, basically he's not like ranking, it's just like top 7 anything, right? And yeah, Lockheed made F-22 as well. So it's fucked up that, it was never used in any way. I guess they never sold it. Understandable, like you don't want to give away your technology of like stealth that you have, which nobody else even close to having it, right? Like they could sell to one of their allies and let's just say either by corruption or just like mistake, it literally the whole plane gets handed to some like China or Russia. That'd be a problem. So that makes sense. But they're still like selling F-35, so I don't know what to think of that there.
The Raptor boasts unprecedented attack capabilities, integrated avionics, and battle space awareness, as well as stealth technologies that allow it to protect not only itself, but other assets. In air-to-air configuration, the Raptor carries 6 AIM-120 advanced medium-range air-to-air missiles and 2 AIM-9 Sidewinders, while in air-to-ground mode, it can carry 2 GBU-32 JDAMs. The F-22's powerful engine and sleek aerodynamic design allow it to cruise at supersonic speeds without using afterburner, and its flight controls and maneuverability are unmatched by any other aircraft ever.
I mean, look at how it moved. It feels like somebody pressed the button in like computer engine or something, graphic engine or something. The accuracy of those turns was insane. Obviously, all is handled by the computers. You barely just give suggestions, right? That's how it is. So F-22, like I'm pretty sure like which channel I've watched it. Like F-22 pilots always say like F-22 is so accurate. It's like any error there might be in any other jets, it's not gonna happen in F-22. It's just gonna be like perfect in a way. And I'm pretty sure F-22 is the only plane like that. Next generation air dominance is probably gonna be like that as well. Who knows?
Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II, 2006. The largest procurement program in the Department of Defense, the F-35 Lightning II is a strike fighter aircraft being procured in different versions for the United States Air Force, Marine Corps, and Navy. Current Department of Defense plans call for acquiring a total of 2,456 F-35s. Allies are expected to purchase hundreds of additional F-35s, and 8 nations are cost-sharing partners in the program with the United States. The F-35 family includes 3 variants, all single-seat jets: the F-35 conventional takeoff and landing variant, the F-35 short takeoff vertical landing variant, and the F-35C carrier variant. All 3 variants have similar performance characteristics and the exact same advanced avionics. The variation between models allows military forces to achieve service-specific mission capability while still taking advantage of the economies of scale that result from the parts and processes that are common to all 3 variants. The F-35 is designed with the entire battle space in mind, bringing new flexibility and capability to the United States and its allies. Reliance on any single capability, electronic attack, stealth, and more, is not sufficient for success and survivability in the future. Missions traditionally performed by specialized aircraft, air-to-air combat, air-to-ground strikes, electronic attack intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance can now be executed by a squadron of F-35s. People think stealth is what defines fifth-generation aircraft. It's not the only thing. It's stealth and then the avionics and the fusion of avionics, General Mike Hostage, former commander, Air Combat Command, U.S. Air Force.
Okay, yeah. I think the F-35 is the most powerful plane that is of this list. Why? Because let's just say pound for pound, obviously F-22 is going to be the most powerful one in a way. Maybe F-16 newer version if like stealth is not a factor, which is like how is that the possible? Stealth always going to be a factor. How are you going to lock onto the plane? So I think F-22 is going to be the like pound for pound most powerful one. But F-35 is the only plane, the first ever plane that made, like air warfare, sky warfare, let's just call it, similar to the ground warfare, where you can have like squad, multiple roles as a unit. You can do a lot of damage, right? With the communication, with multi-purpose, multi-role things, you can have a lot of F-35s doing their own thing, and that would be insane. Yeah, so F-35s can be a squad of them all, right? With like a sergeant and everything, with the ranks. Obviously not, but you get the point, right? And there has never been, obviously, like different type of plane. Let's just say like a bomber, air dominance plane, multi-purpose attack plane like, the A-10 Warthog and things like that, right? All this combined can do it, but they can't communicate with each other. It's just like just for like flex. It's not going to be really functional, right? F-35s, all combined Lightning IIs can communicate with each other, can communicate great, right? An F-35 can also be a spy plane, which is like long ahead of the initial unit. Let's say like there are 8 planes that acts at the units. There's a 9th plane much ahead that's feeding back information like what's happening ahead, right? All these 8 planes can do their own thing. They can be a bomber, attack plane, and they can like switch roles based on that, right? It's a literal squad on the air. Basically, launch this one squad like how you launch a fleet on the sea, right? With the aircraft carrier, destroyers and everything. This is basically in the air equivalent of that, right? People really underestimate how powerful F-35s, a group of them, can be, right? 7-8 F-35s are insanely deadly. They can take out a lot of planes before, not just planes, a lot of planes, a lot of targets on the ground, a lot of things before anybody realizes what's happening. Jammers and things. Right, well, that was top 7 fighter jets of the US military. Well, it's US military news. If you like my next video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.